we have some huge news from Warner Brothers themselves, with David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers Studios, speaking about the Warner Brothers Games division, which has had a very rocky year, and to be honest, even last year and the last couple of years have been rocky too. Since 2020, Warner Brothers Games has had rumors of a sale since a lot of the games were not performing well, and the most recent disaster was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. However, over the last couple of months, we've had some big statements from David Zaslav himself about what is actually going on with Warner Brothers Studios and the Warner Brothers Gaming division, and we have a huge statement right now which speaks about what's going on at Warner Brothers Games right now and the future games that they are working on, and especially the Batman game, which is currently in development, which we'll talk about right now. So this is from the Insider Gaming article, which reads, Warner Brothers Games focusing on Batman, Mortal Kombat and Hogwarts Legacy moving forward. And the article reads, the last year plus for Warner Brothers Games hasn't been the best for the company, and Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav admits that. During the company's latest earnings call on November 7th, Zaslav said that the games business is substantially underperforming its potential. And if you think about all the characters that Warner Brothers owns and all the franchises Warner Brothers own, and remember they own the entirety of the DC catalog, which means they could be making games on any DC character, any DC team, and literally have tons of billion-dollar franchises. However, they've been focusing on live service games, and over the last couple of years they've been pushing that agenda down their own developers' throat and forcing them to implement live service elements. And you have studios like Rocksteady, who are known for their Batman single player game, being forced to make their Suicide Squad game, which was originally supposed to be apparently a single player title. They were forced to make that into a live service game, pushing season and battle passes and cosmetic stores. And then because of all these live service elements, a lot of the game got lost within all of that, and the game bombed in sales and was not received very well by anybody. The article continues, this comes after financial disappointments such as Multiverses and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League lost the studio more than $300 million this year alone in 2024. Now Warner Brothers Games is going to put more emphasis on its most successful franchises moving forward. I think we're through some of the worst, and it hasn't been pretty on the gaming business, as Zaslav said during the call, but we have 4 games that are really powerful and have a real constituency that love them, and we're going to focus on those 4 primarily. We're going to go away from trying to launch 10, 12, 15, 20 different games. I think we have a real chance now with focus to have the gaming business be steadier. He also added, we have 4 strong and profitable game franchises with loyal global fans: Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones and DC, in particular Batman. We are focusing our development efforts on those core franchises with proven studios to improve our success ratio. So here it just confirms that David Zaslav knew that they were trying to launch too many games, and now it seems like he stripped all of that back and probably cancelled a lot of the live service games most likely that were in development, and is now focusing on these 4 franchises since they are recognized to have the most global and loyal fans. And yes, he did mention DC, but he singled out Batman in particular because he knows that the Arkham franchise and the Batman games have been some of the best superhero games of all time and have sold really well. Even the recent Batman Arkham Shadow on the VR systems has performed very well. I've personally heard a lot of great things about that game, as the game adds to the lore of the Batman Arkham game and is a kind of direct sequel to the Batman Arkham Origins game. So just that established world of the Batman Arkham series has tons of history, and a lot of people want to re-explore that world or explore new places within that world, and of course experience new stories there. But what this definitely confirms that yes, a Batman game is definitely in the work, because David Zaslav has pointed it out himself. And we also know that in terms of a DC game, the Wonder Woman single player game is also coming from Monolith Studios, who created the Shadow of Mordor series and will likely be using the Nemesis system within that game too. Now I really hope that they can also use the Nemesis system within the Batman game, but we still don't know what universe this Batman game is going to be. But it is very likely from this that it could still take place within the Arkham universe. But when it comes to DC, actually James Gunn has the power here, and since it's likely that we're going to be getting an older version of Batman within the new DC universe, we could actually get to play as a younger version of the Batman that is going to be our Batman within the DC universe, which I think would be absolutely incredible. But I also want to go back into the Arkhamverse, and we also know that Rocksteady will be developing this Batman game according to rumors in the past, as Rocksteady pitched a single player game to Warner Brothers after Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, as their team was actually handling the definitive edition of Hogwarts Legacy, which is rumored to contain 10 to 15 hours of additional DLC compared to Hogwarts Legacy the base edition, which is likely going to be be released in 2025. So Rocksteady is likely now working on this new Batman game, and they probably pitched it to David Zaslav or whoever is in charge of the games division, and also of course James Gunn, who is in charge of DC in its entirety. Now I heavily doubt that it's going to be a game within Matt Reeves' Batman universe. I feel like there are three options with this game. Number one is a continuation of the Arkhamverse, which could be a sequel to the Batman Arkham games, or continue within the Batman Arkham Origins era, which is considered to be a prequel to the Batman Arkham games. It could also be a Batman game set within the new DC universe, which would be part of James Gunn's DC universe, and we could either play as the current version of Batman, whoever is going to be cast as Batman, or his younger version, since it's rumored that the Batman that's going to be part of the DC universe may be between his 30s and 40s, so we may be able to play as a 20-year-old version of that Batman. The third option is a complete reboot of the Arkham universe, or a completely new universe that could be the DC Games universe, which will have a completely new version of Batman, but also allow for other superheroes to become part of this universe and to set up other games like a Superman game, and have the Wonder Woman game that is development linked to this new universe, and maybe even set up a Justice League game at some point. For me, I see those are the only possibilities that we could be getting, and it seems like the two DC games that are in development right now is the Batman game and also the Wonder Woman game. But I also wanted to remind you that David Zaslav has confirmed that yes, they are looking to work with other developers to license out their other franchises, and this also includes the DC universe, as a developer could come along and have a great idea for a Green Lantern game, which we know Warner Brothers games will never make because they've been sitting on a whole load of DC superheroes for a long time within the gaming division and have only made games about the Batman. So hopefully these other superheroes can be licensed out to other developers, and maybe, just maybe, we could finally get a Superman game, finally get a Flash game, if there is a developer out there who has a great idea for these characters, and pitch it to David Zaslav and James Gunn and whoever else needs to be pitched to, and maybe those ideas could get greenlit, and it could be a developer outside of Warner Brothers games that could be making other DC character games, and maybe if they decide to make all the games linked, similar to what Insomniac is doing with the Spider-Man game and the Wolverine game, they could have a shared universe which could potentially lead to a Justice League game. And remember that we got this rumor from Special Nick back in September, where he said on Twitter that not sure which studio people's dream is, but I heard Rocksteady are back making it regarding the Batman game, and I also think Sony are trying to money hat it, lol. He also responded to someone on Twitter saying, not sure why you doubt it, but I heard it's a new game, so the game is not going to be an Arkham Origins remaster or an Arkham Trilogy PS5 remake, but rather a new game. But again, we don't know whether it's going to be an Arkham game or a new universe. It's very interesting that Sony are also trying to money hat the game, and of course are trying to make it an exclusive for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6. And remember, with Hogwarts Legacy, they actually got that special haunted house kind of DLC as a timed exclusively to PlayStation for about a year before it came to Xbox. So maybe they could either have the game being exclusive to PlayStation maybe for a year, or have exclusive DLC exclusive to PlayStation for an entire year, and kind of just present the game as the best place to play it is on PlayStation. But it is very exciting news that we finally have it confirmed officially, so this is not a rumor that a Batman game is in the works, and it was said by the CEO of Warner Brothers himself, David Zaslav. And with everything that he's been saying in this earnings call, hopefully we see a dramatic change within Warner Brothers games, and he's saying all the right things here, as he says that they're going to be focusing on smaller amount of games and the games with an already built-in fan base, and hopefully with the profits of those successes, and hopefully they make good games and hopefully they are successes, they can start developing other games for their other franchises, or hopefully other developers can come in and have ideas for a Matrix game, a Lord of the Rings game, since it's very interesting that they haven't mentioned Lord of the Rings here, since that is a huge franchise. But guys, I've made a brand new channel dedicated to superhero games news, updates, rumors and leaks called Balboa Mania Infinity, where I'm going to speculate, do theories, rumors, news, all of that stuff over there too, but it's only going to be superhero games. So please go ahead and help me get to 1,000 subscribers over there, and go and subscribe. And also thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for watching this channel. It really means a lot, and I don't say it enough. Last January I made this channel, and now we're over 18,000 subscribers, which is just absolutely insane to me. So I actually have more ideas for other channels that I want to make and introduce some new things to this channel, and it's really all because of you guys. So again, thank you, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Take care, guys.
If you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.